You did inspire me.
Today's video we'll be talking about the new album by Announce the Apocalypse. They are an American thrash metal band based in Tampa, Florida. They've been around since around 2007. They're listed as thrash metal, but I believe they are more of a mix of multiple genres, and I would even go as far as calling them extreme progressive metal. The album I'm going to talk about is called Experience Machine. This was released on January 12th, 2024. They released two albums before this. They released Nefarious Means in 2021, and their debut album was called Ruins in 2017. The band consists of Dominic Ryan Gabriel on guitars and vocals, and Loureiro on bass with Adrian Baptist on drums, and Kelly Byrnes on guitars. The album, The Experience Machine, is a concept album. It reminded me of Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, not in the sound, but in the way they structure the album with many different sound bites that are strategically placed throughout the album that help tell the story. This is the type of album that's best listened to from start to finish. The entire album tells a story. I'm going to review this album track by track. I think that's the best way to do it, so here it goes. This opens with After the Plague. It's basically an intro track, has a slow and haunting feel with classical sounding lead guitar melodies. A voice begins a story, how there was a virus and an oppressive government begins to take over. It's also mentioned that assault rifles have been banned due to a rise in mass shootings. State of Nihilism is next. This is a very fast-paced and aggressive track. Here's a clip of the vocals are very harsh and aggressive. The guitar riffs are reminiscent of death metal with some heavy tremolo picking in the guitar riffs. There seems to be a lot of genres infused into the sound, such as death metal, black metal, and thrash. There's also a progressive element as well with changing tempos. There's a spoken part which helps tell the story. We get introduced to the main character called the protagonist. In this track, this is part of the story where the protagonist starts to spiral into a state of depression. The next song is called In the Wake. Here's a clip of that. This is another fast and heavy song where you hear a man's girlfriend ask him how the rally was, which implies there was some sort of protest going on. This one had more of a traditional thrash feel at first. We had some very heavy vocals. The track also shows off some intense drumming. The song continues with some melodic lead guitar parts and stop-start guitar riffs. At this part of the story, the couple is going through a breakup. The song ends with a man's scream. Next is the song Dying Words. Here's a clip of that. The song starts with a gunshot and a woman who says, "You did inspire me." The song has a music video. It has slow bass guitar intro, some heavy melodic leads. As I was saying before, there are a lot of genres explored on this album, and this one had somewhat of a death doom feel with slow and heavy guitar riffs. The lyrics address the idea of the protagonist wanting to take his life. The concepts of personal struggles and emotional turmoil are also brought up. There are also some different vocal styles used to match the slower tempo of the song. The next song is a short instrumental called At the Burial. It has acoustic guitars, melodic leads, kind of a classical feeling. It's about 2 minutes long, and as the title suggests, it's a funeral scene. Then there's another instrumental called Without Purpose. This one has some of that isolated bass guitars with the band coming in like right afterwards. And there's also a skit where you hear a conversation between two people. So at this point, we're kind of at the halfway point on the album. And then the next song is a turning point in the story. And it's called Dr. Draven. So here's a clip of it. The song introduces the character of Dr. Draven. This one has a very progressive metal sound. It's fast-paced, and there's also somewhat of a hardcore punk sound with the fast rhythms. It's another short song. It's under 3 minutes. This is a turning point in the story where the protagonist meets this doctor that has a new technology that can help him live a completely different life as a way to get out of his state of depression. Next is The Experience Machine. The song appears to be an instrumental at first. It has a drawn-out melodic intro. It slowly builds and then incorporates some heavy guitars in the next section, but most of it plays out as an instrumental, but the vocals do come in the second half of the song. The lyrics suggest the man is thinking of entering the machine as a way to leave his pain behind. Next is Without Fear. This is a pretty cool song. It reminded me of some of that 90s thrash or some groove metal. Just had that typical sound. I like the end of the song where they have these isolated bass guitar parts, and it had a progressive rock sound to it. There's one part where somebody says, ladies and gentlemen, Nefarious, this appears to be some new type of technology. At this point, the main character is reflecting on his life. Then we have another instrumental called Return to a Broken Reality. It has some spoken parts in the beginning where they tell the story, two people having a conversation. The intro to the song is slow and melodic. You hear a lead guitar and the bass guitar playing in harmony. After about a minute and a half, the song goes into a traditional heavy metal sound with heavy chugging guitars. As the song progresses, you can hear sounds of crowds cheering. Then we have the song Forever the Pariah. Here's a clip of. The song starts with a woman saying, oh, where have you been? The song brings back some of those kind of darker influences. You can hear some of the darker tones and that tremolo picking. It's fast-paced, it's energetic, the vocals are harsh, and they change gears throughout the song. Then we have Upon the Riots. This one kind of starts with sounds of a riot as inferred in the song title, with stop-start guitar riffs and news clips mentioning the riots. And this is a song that I thought the drumming stood out on this song. I like the kind of like the different rhythms that were used by the drummer. And the song also has some melodic parts in the second half, and there's a news clip of someone mentioning Dr. Draven has been shot outside his facilities. And the final song is called Simulation Evermore. This kind of brings everything together. It's the longest song on the album, at a little over 6 minutes. The song has everything you would expect. It has aggressive vocals, fast and complex guitar riffs, melodic leads. There's a cool breakdown about halfway through the album. You can hear the melodic bass guitar playing some melodies with harmonized lead guitar melodies. It was a nice break. I like the isolated bass guitar parts. And it ends story. I won't spoil the ending. It's the kind of thing you have to interpret for yourself. In conclusion, I recommend you check out the Chill Dude on the Couch's channel. He did a review of this album and he interviewed the band, so you can get more insight of what went into making this album. I enjoyed this. I recommend listening to this from start to finish, and I recommend listening to it with headphones. It seems to give you a better experience, or at least in my opinion it did. My score for this will be an 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it. This band needs some more recognition. Check them out. Check out their Bandcamp page. I believe they have some CDs on sale for this album. You can buy them through Bandcamp. And if you like this review, here's another similar album review. The album came out this weekend by German power metal band called Scanner, right there. That also happens to be a concept album with a futuristic theme. It's a different story. If you like that type of thing, and that came out this weekend, please like this video. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you're not already. Leave a comment. I will see you in the next one.